Hey guys, Ed over here at FICMRepair.com. So happy Thursday to you. So here we got a question, and it's a question we get like this all the time, right? This particular guy says, "Hey, I got an 0560. I'm new to the diesel game. It's got this, it's got that, it's got the other, and I pulled a this, that, or the other up, and that truck just wasn't so happy. It threw a wrench lid on the dash. I just pulled over the idle to cool down. No problems after that. Would a simple trans kit help with that? I'll be getting an EGT sensor in our reader to monitor temps soon." So our early response is monitoring will tell you the story. And that's the case, right? Without monitoring, we really don't know. I also don't know what it means by it wasn't happy with that. What was happening? Was it flaring between gears? Was it getting hot? Did your temperature spike? What exactly? Coolant temperature spike on the dash? Did your trans temp spike on the dash? If one of those things happened, holy buckets, it's bad. But then there's a whole story about that too. But recognize that rather than get caught up in this, what you need is monitoring. Without monitoring, man, throwing the parts can at it is just an expensive way to go, and I hate that for you. So if you called us up and asked this question and said, "Hey, what should I do? Do you want to get the trans kit?" We would say, "Well, yeah. This trans kit right here, man alive, it'll give you, it'll double your line pressure, it'll quadruple your flow, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, all the things." But we don't know that that's going to solve your problem. All we know is that it's going to improve your truck, which is a very different thing. Maybe it'll solve your problem, maybe it won't solve your problem. What's the real way? That'd be this here, right? The Edge Insight CTS3. I know I'm banging the drum on it. You guys are probably like, unsubscribe. This guy's always talking about this Edge Insight CTS3. Really, any monitor at all. I don't care if it's an Edge Insight CTS3, if it's an SCT, if it's a Bully Dog, if it's an old antiquated Edge device, one of the first gens. I don't care if it's an Elm device hooked up to like a Torque Pro or Forescan or something. I don't care if you got your buddy's Snap-on scanner. We all need ice cream? No, wait. There's things wrong with me because you haven't figured it out. We all need data, right? So I need to know what was causing the truck to work so hard. Was it that it was overheating? Maybe. Was it that the oil temperature was getting too high? Maybe. Was it that the trans temp was getting too high? Maybe. Was it that you got a misfire on one of your cylinders? Maybe. Was it that you got a shift solenoid D range performance code? Maybe. But without data, we don't know the answer, and so I don't know how to help you because, back in my day, when I was a kid, Oldsmobile had a great slogan. They said, "This isn't your father's Oldsmobile," and my response to that is, "Yeah, you're right. I could work on that," but really not really, really not really, because we didn't have the ability back then to have the technical data. We didn't have, engine computers that would help us diagnose this stuff. So do you have any codes? What are they? And what's your live data say? Yes, cooling it down, it was happy after that. That just tells me that something got hot, but what is that something? If it was your trans getting hot, but it never did slip or anything, maybe, Mishimoto's trans cooler that'll drop your trans temps commonly about 10-ish degrees is the answer of the day for you, the answer du jour, don't you know? But maybe it's something a lot easier than that. We just don't know. So, do you need a bigger radiator? Do you need a bigger trans cooler? Do you need different solenoids in your transmission? We're all just guessing. And so what I need data to be able to tell you, to be able to help you. And once we have that, we'll be able to know. So stop procrastinating, hop on FICMRepair.com, buy yourself a gauge that does the job for you, whether it's the Elm device for $30, whatever it is, or whether it's a Scan Gauge 2 or 3 or an SCT or this bad boy here, and this bad boy here, he's the spendy mother, but holy crap, it better be awesome. It's $5, right? Oofta. But it is awesome. And you will be so happy you get it once you've got it. And if you put a note in the comments if you have, whatever tool you have, and if you're happy with it, and what your favorite one is. The problem with saying I've got a Snap-on scanner or a Top Don or Auto Ingenuity or Ford IDS is you're not going to have that on your passenger seat every day, right? That's my issue with it. They're great tools, but you're just not going to have it on your passenger seat every day. And as a result of not having it on your passenger seat every day, you're not going to get live data to help you when you need it. Probably when this particular poster was pulling his 6,000-pound trailer through the mountains in Alaska, he didn't know that that day was going to be the day that he had a problem. But if he had had this device or another up on his dash to be able to see what was going on, he'd be able to say, aha, this is what's going on when I'm asking a lot of my truck. Not that 6,000 pounds is a lot, because it just isn't. But depending on how steep these mountains are, I was talking to a guy earlier today, and he was talking about some hills that were like pretty extreme. He's talking about performance sedans not being able to go over 40, 45 miles an hour up whatever grade he was climbing. So it's like, okay, so how bad was it? I don't know. But what we do know is that we can live within the operating parameters of the motor and the drive line overall by staying with monitoring gauges, and that will help us keep ourselves out of trouble, especially if you couple this particular kit with Edge's street diesel kit, this guy right here, that now all of a sudden you can monitor exhaust gas temperatures right here, but you also have a 0 to 100 psi pressure transducer for fuel pressure, and then another one you can monitor coolant pressure with, or like low pressure oil, because you've only got a 7 psi switch that handles that in a Power Stroke 6.0. But this conversation spans drive lines. This isn't a Power Stroke 6.0 conversation. This is a conversation with your Duramax 6.6. It's with your OBS truck. It's with anything. And so it's just like, hey, if we have something, these gauges, they're not specific to a drive line, and no one's going to give you another 5 nickels for your rig because you're running some awesome monitoring setup. So like, for example, when you install the exhaust gas temperature probe, maybe go get some anti-seize, the silver stuff, and put it on the threads, and that way you can pull that thing up out of there when the day comes to sell your rig, and you can put a little 1/8 inch NPT plug in there from Ace Hardware, and move it on to the next rig, and that way you're just not giving it away to the next guy. So just understand how the world works. Understand that the chain is only as strong as the weakest link. Doesn't mean you got a weak chain. It just means that there's a link in there that is the weakest, and which one is it? And so, say in this particular case, it's shift solenoid deperformance, which I'm guessing, based upon the fact that the question was asked, hey, would your trans kit solve this problem? But when we fix that problem, recognize there's probably just another one behind it. It's just a matter, are we going to hit that next threshold? And if we're not, nothing more to buy. But if we are, then okay, let's go ahead and buy that too. But meanwhile, we're not just buying everything, because that just seems like a waste to me. All right? So hope this video helps. Thanks for the question. So appreciate it. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.